So I just tried to start a live chat and it kind of did something weird, so I'm back. I just wanted to hop off and talk to you guys for a little bit while I'm doing some driving today. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm getting ready for a video that I'm going to be filming to show you guys something kind of cool that I just discovered. So we'll talk about that after the room fills in just a little bit. But yeah, you're coming along with me today on a little travel. Now, I'm also kind of testing something out while we are physically traveling right now. I can't tell you about that just yet, but I will soon, very, very soon. In fact, you should see what it is in just a couple days. Hi, Deborah. Hello, hello. How are you? I'm not going to be watching the chat quite as closely for just a couple minutes until I get to the destination. So as we're kind of filling in, everyone can chat kind of amongst themselves, and then I'll come back in and fill in some of the blanks with some of the questions in just a minute. But yeah, so I'm super excited. A lot of people were asking me if I was going to be going to Ladybug Out Meetup last weekend, and it just did not work out because I had some projects that I was working on, and I really felt bad about that because everyone looked like they had such a good time. I received a message from Dee that was just really, really, really cute from everybody. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are awesome. But yeah, I just wanted to say that there's a reason why I didn't make it up there. In fact, there's a couple of different reasons. And part of that is that I was working on some projects, one of which you saw today. And you probably have already noticed that with that one, I had a little installation project that I was doing. Hang on, guys, we're about to go over a railroad here. Big bumps. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, so that was one of my smaller projects, but I'm actually working on a few others as well. So, oh my goodness, videos. I'm about to stop right over here for just a second, and then we're going to go on to our bigger location for the day. Let's see, here we go. Okay. Now that I have done that, I can make a couple of adjustments real quick. Whenever I set up that I was going to do my live today, I knew that I wanted to kind of go live while I was driving because it's really easy for me to talk to you guys. It's harder for me to watch the chat, but it's nice to be able to just chat to you. So that was kind of a cool thing. New shoes for Dimples blew me away. Yay! I'm so excited about it. Like, you have no idea how excited I am to see Dimples looking complete again. I rode around for, let's see, I went to Vanarchy in, I want to say I went in November. And so from November up until recently, I either was missing a hubcap or I took off all of them altogether. So that's kind of where we were at. Hello from Sweden. Hello from Tennessee. Hello from Missouri. Kathleen, don't worry, I will be fixing my seatbelt. Part of the reason I pulled off is because it was stuck. That's part of the issue with it I needed to pull off for. Don't worry, Jennifer, I will be driving safe. I'm not going to be really paying attention to the chat while I'm driving. I'm just wanting to chit-chat with you guys. And then as I stop at my next location also, I will have a little bit more chit-chat and I'll catch up just like I did. So, yeah. So I think that that's one of the things. Let me fix this thing because it is. You know how sometimes whenever you stop aggressively, the seatbelt does a weird thing? That's what happened, and I could feel it doing it. So there it is. But yeah, so there's that. I wish I could mount you guys over here, but I don't have the accessory to do that currently installed. I have a different one installed. So you guys are going to just have a really weird view of me while we're driving. It's also a little bit warm in here. So I'm going to try to turn on a little bit of air, but turn off the vent that is by the phone. That way I'm not hot, but you guys don't have the horrible sound. So there's that. Getting back out onto the road, and we're off. Anyway, so what I was talking about though is that I had to do several different projects at base camp, and while I've been here, I've gotten a lot accomplished. I'm completely caught up with all my editing. I have been working on a couple of other projects. I had to order some new shirts because I have a long sleeve shirt that I purchased over the winter months that says subscribe on it, and I really, really like that one. So I decided to get myself a couple of other versions of that one just for advertising my channel and stuff like that. And so I have that coming in, and I'm just waiting on it to arrive now. And then let's see, a couple of other projects that I actually have already filmed that you guys will be seeing in the next week, week and a half. And then I have one big project which I haven't been able to start yet because I'm still waiting on a package. So whenever that comes in, then we will be able to address that, and you'll see why I'm really excited about that one, guys. Super, super fun. The survey that I did the other day about asking if people would rather see how to find parking or if they would rather see cooking, there were great response on that. So I'll probably do videos on both of them eventually. Currently, I have some new things, little new things that I'm wanting to share with you guys. And so as I can, I'm trying to shoot those videos so that you guys will have tons of fun content. But I already talked to my patrons about this, but I wanted to announce this on a live chat as well. And again, I'm looking at the road, so I am talking to you guys though, but you're just like right over here. But I wanted to tell you guys about something that has changed, that will be changing and making a big difference in my travels over the next month, month and a half. I was originally hoping to go to Missouri and do some really cool things. I still am, but the timetable on that has shifted slightly. I really want to do something pretty cool and have time to really do that while I'm up there, and I want to be able to explore and go to some fun places that I've never been and not put a limitation on how long that I have to experience that and to share those things. So I have decided to forego my original plans for just a little bit, about this long. That's it. In the meantime, the reason why I have decided to do that is because there is a van event that will be held in Arizona. I know, Arizona, right, guys? I just got back from there. But I had a text message from Riley the other day, and she had mentioned that she was going to be going to this event that happened in California, which I'm hoping she does a video about because I didn't get to go. But it looked like a really cool event. I had seen her posts about it. I was just like really excited, and I really wanted to be there and experience that, but I couldn't. It just wasn't going to be able. So she had mentioned that a lot of people were also saying that she should go to this event in Arizona. And she sent me the link, and I looked it over, and sure enough, it looks like a super cool event. And so I was like, should I go? The thing is, it's in April, so that's when I had initially planned on being all up in Missouri. So since I won't be all up in Missouri now, I'll be over in Arizona. That doesn't mean I won't be going to Missouri. It just means I'm either going to have to take a short trip there, there and back, or I'm going to a prolonged trip of it as soon as this event is over. So that might be my route of travel. After I leave Arizona, I may go to Missouri, which could be kind of fun. So that would actually be good. It would be past some of this crazy time of year where we're getting the bad storms, so that could be very positive. It'll also put me a little further out for the cold, so that means I'll probably miss the cold, which is super awesome. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, is I'm going to go to this event first, and then I'm going to about the event. And if you are interested in going to an event, this would be one that I would definitely see being of interest to a lot of people. It's called the Weird Wild West, and it's located in Bisbee, Arizona. So I'll tell you a little bit more about it once I stop up here also, so I can look at you guys and talk to you a little bit better. But that's what I'm going to be doing first. I'm going to be going to Bisbee. Now, I've never been to Bisbee before. A bunch of van dwellers have always told me that it's very van friendly, it's super cool, it's very chill, and I'm very excited about getting to experience that for the first time. Not to mention, that was supposed to be a part of my last trip, and the only reason I did not go was because I was trying to cut it back to Texas. I had some things that I really needed to do here, and so I missed out on that and Tombstone, which I wanted to go to. So I think what I'm going to do is, while I'm there, I'm going to do a whole bunch of different adventure activities to show people kind of what's in the area, but I'm also going to be going to Tombstone, and possibly, just possibly, I'm going to circle back over toward the Saguaro National um, national area, because I went and I could never find a visitor center, and now I know where it is. So since I'll be so close, I mean, why not, right? Right. But that's going to leave me with a lot of traveling to do to get there. And so once again, I'll be crossing through West Texas, dun, 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 and also I'll be crossing through New Mexico. So I'm currently trying to like figure out where all I want to go when I go through that area. And so that's kind of the stage I'm at right now. So that's where we're at. That's what we're doing. But yeah, so that's the big change of plans, which means that I'll just still be going to Missouri just a little bit later. But that helps me to lock down at least a little bit more of my calendar, because I like to have some basic ideas as to what regions I'll be traveling into. I don't necessarily like to know all the details of where I'll be, but it's nice to know a few things here and there. You know. But there's that. So right now, what I'm doing is, well, currently, what I'm doing as we're in the vehicle is I am actually driving to the store. And then after that, oh my goodness, I'm going through the area that the tornado was. Oh, this is terrible, guys. Wow, these people like lost so much. I would stop, but there's not really a good pull-off place to show you guys. Yeah, that was really sad. I hadn't been down this road since the tornadoes the other day. Um, anyway, sorry, squirrel syndrome just hit with that. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually going to the store. I'm getting some supplies for some things that I'm going to be showing on the channel. I'm going to not tell you guys what it is just yet, though. But after that, then I am going to be going back to base camp, and I'm hoping that one of my smaller packages arrives today. Again, when I go to base camp, I try to get a lot of stuff done. So I have all sorts of random packages that have been coming in. I have a few different products that I was out of. I have a lot of different things for the van, stuff like that. So all of that's happening kind of behind the scenes when I'm not necessarily filming. So yeah, that's that. And then after I finish up with today, tomorrow I know for a fact that I will have at least one package that relates to things that need to go in the van. So I will be starting to do another project, weather pending. They said that because we're in this lovely part of Texas, that over the next couple days we may be experiencing more of those nasty winds. So if it's nasty outside, I'll either have to move inside and do something else, or I will have to go somewhere and do something, which is fine either way. But yeah, so there's that. I'm going to find a parking spot, and then I'm going to chat it up with you guys and actually read through some more of your comments. I'm just at the Walmart, the local Walmart. Um, that's the best place for us to get things while here in this particular area, because, small town. Let's see, where do I want to park? Do, do, do. Oh, somebody's moving. Perfect. We're going to get a good spot today, guys. That's exciting. Okay, we are pulling in, and then I can chit-chat a bit better. I'll take you guys off of the clasp here. Maybe, if I can undo the thing. There we go. Okay, let me do a little light reading here as to what I missed along the way. Oh my goodness, more people saying hello. Hi, 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 hi. Okay, so California, be safe on the roads, definitely. Do I have a P.O. box? I do not currently. I am looking into possibly getting one, just because I have a few people who have asked me if I have one, and then also it would just be super convenient. Currently, my dad is my postman, so he gets everything for me, and so he could also check my P.O. box if it's overflowing and stuff like that. So that would be something that I could potentially do. It's on my list of things that I need to do before I depart base camp. The list is getting smaller, so that's good, but that is definitely one of the things. Whenever I do eventually figure that particular thing out, then I will let you guys know, and then I'll probably link it in the description of my videos going forward. Again, though, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do P.O. Box wise. As long as my dad can check my thing, we're good. Henry, hello. Let's see. Hi, Bev. How are you? I hear that your place up there in Missouri is quite nice. I want to come by and see you at some point. Um, Del Cab, Illinois, nice. And then my good friends Collie and Kyle up here. Hey, Bunny, when you come back to Missouri, let us know. Maybe we can meet up again. Yes, absolutely. I will let you know for sure whenever I'm up in that direction. I was even thinking about possibly coming through a portion of Kansas. I'm not sure yet, though. I'm trying to figure that out. But first, I'll go back to Arizona. I cannot leave the desert, guys. For some reason, the desert keeps bringing me back in. It wants me to be a part of it so badly. Pretty soon, though, it's going to be a little bit too warm for the desert. Definitely. So I'm trying to figure out all of this, and then I want to go to some green areas for sure because I'm lacking that feeling that you get from a good green waterfall area, and I need that. So I'm not sure where exactly I'll go to find that, but in Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, somewhere in there, I'll find it. I know I will. Hello from Montreal. Hello. How are my Canadians doing right now? How has the weather been? Has it been insane? Speaking of weather, I was looking at TikTok of all places. Don't judge me for finding my news there, but I found some great news there. There is a weatherman who is on TikTok, and I really love the fact that he shares different things in a way that relates to us in a quick little moment. And he was showing that there's a really aggressive storm system that's going to be pushing through. It will be hitting the eastern portion of Texas. And that's why I was like, oh, is it going to shift? But I noticed that the actual wave of it is quite large. And there is a band of storms over the next 2 days that's going to be pushing through from Texas all the way up to the Great Lakes area. So, and then across, it's going to move across. So I'm not sure where it will dissipate, but they said that the path of it could be all the way into Tennessee, Kentucky area. So anyone who is in any part of that region, please be careful. And they said it could produce tornadoes. So if you are a van dweller and you have the opportunity, look at the weather. Just say it. That might be helpful right now. And if you are in a sticks and bricks, find your safety spot, please, because I like you guys and I don't want anything bad to happen to any of you. So please be careful. Highlands, North Carolina, great waterfalls. So, okay, I want to go back to Highlands for sure. I've been there once. It was beautiful. There's a little store there that sells the best, absolute best little deli food ever. So, so good. But while I was there, that was the one moment where I had kind of a strange feeling. And let me explain. So I had gone out to this free campsite that I found probably on freecampsites.net. The signal in that area not so great with AT&T, or at least it wasn't whenever I was there last time. It may have improved since, but I had my little map already pre-mapped out. I was going on to the place that I was supposed to go, and as I was driving along, you may have heard this story already, I got to a part where I saw experimental forest, and I was like, what? And you're continuing to drive through the experimental forest until you get to the actual campsite. And once I got to the actual campsite, it was a beautiful place. But unfortunately, there were a group of guys there that looked like they were out there hunting or something, and just really kind of raucous, rowdy kind of guys. And me being a solo female in a tent, I didn't know that that was the best fit for me at that time. So, as a result of that, I decided to move on. And whenever I did, I moved on and just dropped on down into like Georgia area because that was the closest place that I could find that I felt safe, that I could actually get to. Because for a while there, I was just kind of roaming blind because I had no signal. And I was following the saved map that I had, and I was like, well, this looks like a good place. I could get to a Walmart if nothing else. And so that's what I did. And I want to go back there now that I have my van because I feel like there's a little bit more security that comes with having a van and having actual four walls. And I think that I have a little bit less hesitation in some places now as a result of that. But also, I'd like to go back just because I didn't get to explore very much. I got there kind of later in the afternoon. I got to see one waterfall. It was beautiful, but there's dozens of them in that area, so I will be back. Hello from Saskatchewan. Hello. Smoky Mountains are always a great place for mountains and waterfalls, but the signal is still horrible. Absolutely. I think that that's the thing. Like, I always tell people to download the offline map if they can. It's just one of those things that super helps out. But at the same time, like, for call outs, it's just not great. I love that I have a Wii Boost because the Wii Boost really does help in those areas, so I can at least get out a couple bars in some places. But there's just not a lot of towers in that area. And considering there's not very many towers, there are so many people there because it's the one of the most populated national parks like of all time. So, and it's free. I mean, why not? Speaking of that, somebody had mentioned that they would be interested in seeing a video about the different park passes that they have out there and if they're worth it, and then also like what you have to do to get them. In the chat right now, we have 41 people. Of everyone in here, if you would be interested in seeing a video like that, can you please leave a thumbs up comment or maybe like a heart comment or something, just some kind of emoji comment just by itself, so I could see kind of the interest in that particular kind of video, because it's something that is very handy, but at the same time, going into it in a more in-depth thing than just the America the Beautiful Pass, I want to make sure that I am covering what people would be interested in that, because I could geek out so hard on that subject. Oh, thank you so much, Lucid. By the way, I wanted to thank you for your videos. They help me and my family. Oh, thank you so much. I am so glad that the videos could be handy to you, because I think that that's why I create content, is so that people can find it whenever it's most valuable to them or when it's something that they're interested in, and then they can kind of either, with like the activity videos, see what a place is about so they can know if it's for them or not, or have a backstory so that they can know what points of interest they might be interested in. But when it comes to the van stuff, I really want to help people out, show them what's working for me, show them how I find things, stuff like that, because I know it's just like a sea of craziness out there whenever you're looking into things. Okay, we have a lot of interest in the park pass idea. Okay, great. That's what I need to know, because there are so many different aspects when you go from state to state and then also from park to park, and a lot of people just don't know about it, and then they end up overpaying for things. So I want to make sure that I give people the information that will help them find what they're looking for. And so I will definitely start looking into that and start doing a little bit of research. A lot of times I don't do as much research on things as probably people think I do. I just kind of go into place that I learn as I go and I share that. But on that, I do want to come with an educated look at things and kind of an overall perception of how many park passes are actually available to you and how many parks are available within that and things like that. Elton John shades. I actually found these at Five Below. I bought 2 new pairs of sunglasses the other day. Of course, that's my guilty pleasure. It's my little thing that makes me happy. Bye, Jennifer. Have a good one. And so I wanted to do something a little bit different with these. These are a light enough shade where it takes away that tint that comes from the sun that hurts my eyes, that makes me really squinty. But at the same time, they're very wide, very clear. And so it's not so much that it's like as I'm driving in the afternoon and it starts to get to that dusk time, typically I need to take my sunglasses off because they're too dark. But really I need to keep them on because there's still sun that is hurting my eyes. And I have super sensitive eyes. So these are a good balance in there. I'm just getting my van and would love a tour of yours. I am working on finishing out a few projects, and after I do, I will be doing an updated van tour just so that people can kind of see what's going on, and also so they can have a comparison from where I started with the no build to currently where I am. Now, after I make these changes, that does not mean I won't continue to find things that work better for me in certain situations, but this will be at least updated. Let's see. Please show some love. Smash that like button. Yes, thank you so much, Penny, for getting everybody involved in the chat. Thank you guys so much. Hello, Paula. Hello, Rosie. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for the super sticker. This is me mimicking the rocket guy. I'm mimicking the rocket guy. I'm not on StreamYard today, so I can't pop the comments up. But if I could, I would definitely pop up your comment and say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That was very nice of you. Thank you so much. Still liking my hubcaps? Yes, so much so. I drove around for, oh, sorry. I drove around for, I want to say November till today, yesterday, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Let's see. Overall, I drove around for many months. We'll just say that without any kind of hubcaps on, period. And then there was a short time where I drove around with 3 hubcaps. That was awkward. So as soon as I got to take them off, I was super happy about it. Now, I did have a few people asking questions about the caps themselves. Somebody said I should have just spray painted the originals. Well, I couldn't because I was missing one. So I would have had to purchase a new Nissan matching cap. One of those new. I was pricing them. I found one for $40 and I found one for $60. Now, somebody also told me I should have gone to a salvage yard and found them. NV200s right now are very coveted. So a lot of the good parts and things like that at a lot of the junkyards aren't available for the NV200. So it's a little bit harder to find those kind of parts. So I looked at it and I was like $40 to $60 for something new, or I could just buy a full set of something new and it'd be good. Now I liked the black a lot, so I thought that that's going to look a little bit more sharp overall, so that's why I picked out the black ones that I did. And then I went through this whole process of reading tons of reviews for about 5 different sets of hubcaps, and each one of them I was learning a little bit more about if it would work for my physical van. Now, I know that in the video you can kind of see the shape of the rim that comes standard on the NV. Well, apparently some of the hubcaps not meant for that kind of rim. So I really had to figure out which one would work best. And so that's what took me a little bit, but yes, I'm loving them. Judy, change is so fun. I think that that's why I like to customize things in my space the way that I do, is because I can always like have a piece of my personality shining out within it. Let's see, Eric, Cades Cove is great. The Oakmont Campground is great just before Cades Cove Campground, but no phone service, no showers. If you get a chance, check out Vogel State Park. Sweet! I like those suggestions, and I have never been to Vogel. I have stayed at Cades Cove before. It was a long time ago. Whenever I was there last time, there were just so many people in the park, it was impossible to get a campsite. So I ended up camping outside of the park. Whenever I was on the North Carolina side, I ended up staying at a local Walmart, actually, which was interesting. And then whenever I was in the Gatlinburg area, I just went ahead and got a chalet, a little hotel. I loved it. I got a really good price. I was there during non-peak season, so it was perfect. And I really enjoyed it. And it gave me kind of a departure, but at the same time, my hotel was close enough where I could walk to everything. So that was nice. Tuning in from the UK. Oh my goodness, hi! Oh my goodness, I love that you are able to see different parts of the US through my videos and that you enjoy that, because that is my whole goal, is to share all the cool places with people, and then I hope that it inspires people to find places either near them that might resemble that inspire them, or to go to those places physically. Hi, Bunny from South Jersey. Woohoo! Nice. And then Red-Headed Riding Hood. Hello, hello. Oh my goodness, my nose, guys, my nose. Eric, but to kind of go back to what you were saying though, camping is hard in the Smoky Mountains these days. I know that there are several Smoky Mountain bloggers that I've watched their channels, and they've talked about just different aspects of the Smoky Mountain experience, and I always enjoy going up there. It's a little bit more tricky because the communities themselves aren't super van friendly, because they know that people are coming there and just like trying to camp. And then also, like, they have so many different options for accommodations. They want you to stay in those, understandably so. So when it comes to getting a campsite, if anyone who is watching this chat right now wants to go to the Smoky Mountains, look at me. I'm telling you, just point blank, reserve in advance. That's it. Just do it. Right now, Redheaded, I am actually going to the local Walmart. I have to get a few things for a project that I'm working on that you guys will see on the channel very soon. Nothing too crazy. It's coming from Walmart. But yeah, I'm going to work on that. I just wanted to chit chat for a little bit first, because I just thought I'd do a little chit chat catch up. I know I had a lot of people asking questions on my hubcap video, and then also I've had so many emails. And so since there are some similar topics that keep arising, I just wanted to hop on and chat and tell you guys kind of the answers. Jean, did I get your super chat? I think so. No, it didn't come through. Oh my goodness. Ping. Thank you. Oh, you don't have Walmart. Okay, so Jenny, what would be the version there of Walmart? I'm just curious. My projects are fun. Thank you so much. I have about 3 more projects that I've already filmed that you guys will be seeing. I know one of them will be something that I've been asked about a lot. And then another one is just something that I really, really have been working toward that I wanted to do. And I'm super happy that I did it finally. If I drive across northern Georgia on US Highway 76, I can pop into Cloudland Canyon State Park and Fort Mountain State Park. Both places are amazing. See, I have so many Georgia state parks that continue to be suggested to me, and I have only gone to, I want to say, 2 Georgia state parks so far. I may have been to 3, but I think it's 2. I think the other one's in Alabama. But gorgeous parks. Very gorgeous parks. In fact, the last time that I was in Georgia, actually in Georgia, not just like passing through Georgia, I stopped off at the Don Carter State Park, I believe is what it was. And such a well put together park, just in general. The amenities there were so, so nice. Okay, cool. So somebody told me about the one, the the one that's like Aldi. I asked them if it was like Aldi, and they were like, yes and no. So I saw this whole debate that was going on online about the caterpillar cake guy, little caterpillar cake, and how there was this big debacle happening. And that store that you just mentioned, Aldi, and then one other store were all involved in this huge controversy over a caterpillar cake. And I just thought it was so funny. But yeah, I remembered that name. So yay! Cloudland is awesome. Okay, I'm going to have to stop in there. I definitely need to go in that direction at some point. Again, I haven't done as much in the South because the South is kind of one of those weird things. The South gets real hot, real sticky, real gross. And during the winter time, it's also really cold. And so it's hard to do things. So it's like you have to find that one little in-between time. And a lot of times I'm usually in a different direction. So I may just have to gut it out and go. And also, I want to go to Georgia anyway because I want to go to the Georgia Aquarium at some point. I have a whole list of places I want to go in Georgia that I just haven't been yet. It is. It is pretty good, but the last time, so this is the thing, Deborah, the last time that I did attempt to go to Georgia, notice I said attempt, I was in the area to go, and all of a sudden, something happened. They had this random tornado warning. And I was like, it was literally where I was supposed to go. I was like, what? Why? That has literally happened every single time that I have tried to go to Georgia. Something weird has happened with their weather. And I'm just like, I'm going to take it as a sign. I'm just going to take it as a sign that I'm not supposed to be here right now. And so I just kind of keep it moving, and it is what it is. But eventually I will make it there, and I want to enjoy it because it is a beautiful place. I went to, let's see, I went to Don Carter. I went to, oh my gosh, why is my brain it just blipped out. I went to the big thing where you walk down like a bazillion stairs to get to this gorgeous, like, gorge. It was amazing. If you go to Cloudland, go to the Chickamauga, Georgia. There is a Civil War battle site there. Cool. Yeah, I love the history, so that would be a good fit for me. Okay, let's see. Wait. We're all going fast now. I'm getting envy now. You have all these funny things. Georgia weather is weird. Yes, that's my experience there. It's always been weird to me. I would love to go and experience it more. I have friends who even live there, and every time I try to go, it's like, oh. And also, the only other experience that I have is driving through Georgia and having to go anywhere near Atlanta. Although I love Atlanta because I, again, have friends who live there. It's just not a fun thing for me to drive through Atlanta. The biodome I went to was so cool. Okay, so the biodome, even more cool in person. It is amazing. It is so amazing. I went there fully thinking Polly Shore Biodome. That was my whole thought process on that one. And the more I started exploring and seeing things, the more I was just like, oh my goodness, this is so much better than I could have even imagined. And being there in person and doing the full tour, um, as you're looking at the tour, it talks about like what's going on, what you're seeing. It has clips from the past and things like that. And you're physically standing in the same area that they are. So you can envision yourself doing it. And it's just wild. Let's see. I can find camping at Stone Mountain. Okay. Stone Mountain also has an amusement park, correct? Let's see. Savannah. Yes. So Savannah is a place that has been on my list again forever, but reference what happens every time I go to Georgia. I think it would just be amazing to go there. Everybody hates driving through Spaghetti Junction. Atlanta traffic is similar to Los Angeles. Okay, so there's a thing about that. I've driven in both, and I will say this: Atlanta is the loop. The loop is the thorn in my side that I hate more than life itself. I would say that the loop has the same amount of disdain as the 101 does to me, or the 5 in LA. However, I will say that I can bypass the 101 and the 5 with a little bit of patience if I'm using the app Waze way easier than I can bypass the loop in Atlanta. And I think that because the bypasses to get around, they're just not, their infrastructure is different. It's just completely different. So in LA, you can almost more easily get off of the freeway and still get to where you're going if you have a little bit of patience and not afraid. Can't be afraid. But the loop itself in Atlanta, anytime that I've ever wanted to get around it, because the traffic is just at a standstill, it's harder to get off of it to get around it. Does that make sense? I don't think that makes sense, but I just have a little bit of a harder time with the loop in Atlanta than I do in LA. And I don't know why, but that's just every single time it's been just like I'm stuck. I feel like I'm in a parking lot. Now in LA, I can feel like I'm in a parking lot, but I can also at least get off of it to kind of feel like I'm moving on side streets. Okay, let's see. Yes, round and round on the blasted loop. Absolutely. And traffic there starts at like the weirdest time, too. You have Six Flags. Okay, cool. I would like to get possibly a Six Flags season pass so I could go to all the parks at some point. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that yet. If I go to Missouri and go to St. Louis, it makes sense for me to do that because they have Six Flags, and then I could come back to Texas and go to all of the different things here. Nice. Let's see what else we have. Redheaded is from LA and her brother still lives there. I mean, I was just out there, and as much as a lot of people hate California just in general, I think the vast majority of the reason that they hate it isn't necessarily because of the actual state physically itself, because their state is beautiful. If you go up north, they have the redwoods, they have the entire ocean line, which is gorgeous. The coast is just beautiful. And then as you get over into the eastern parts, that's where you have the Sierra Nevadas. They're so gorgeous. And so I think that California in general isn't necessarily a hatred toward the state. It's a hatred toward the mentality of certain groups of people. And I understand. I mean, we all are a little bit different. And politics aside, if there were no political situations involved, I think that people would love California. I mean, I have such a blast whenever I go there because it's gorgeous. It's a place that is designed, if you like adventure, you will find it in some part of California. You can find the rainy areas, you can find the desert areas, there's a little bit of everything. So if you're just visiting, I think that there's no reason why you shouldn't enjoy California. Now, I'm going to make a caveat here. Traffic not fun. I get it. Traffic not fun. However, there is a vast majority of the state where traffic is not bad. So I think that most of the stereotypes and stigmas that we hear are specific to San Francisco and LA, because there's not a lot of people who truly complain about San Diego and things like that. There just aren't. And I've talked to tons of people. And I think one of the more humorous things was like whenever I posted the video of being kicked out of California because the event organizers hadn't gotten the proper permits. I never knew so many people had a disdain for California until I posted that. And then I was having all sorts of comments that were completely unrelated to the video at all. And it was kind of funny. But at the same time, it's like, wow, okay, so there's a lot of people who are just like, I would never go to that state. And I don't think they've ever been to the state, because if they had, I think that they would understand that there are complete areas that have none of the politics that they're talking about, that are not crowded, that are just beautiful. Anyway, so that was kind of my thoughts on that. Let's see. Someone said there's the Six Flags in New Jersey. Also, yes, exactly why I would like to possibly explore a season pass. Have I ever visited Dollywood? I have, but not in a really long time. I was planning on going back there last time I was in the Gatlinburg area. It did not work out. They were still in the midst of kind of open, but kind of not open. And so it was very hard to get a ticket, and I just couldn't do it. So I hope to go back there and kind of give an exploration moment. I'd like to see what the food tastes like, what the rides feel like, what the shows are. I'd love to go visit the Dolly display because I love Dolly. But yeah, it's one of those things that in time I will do. Anything in Wisconsin I want to go to? I have a small list for Wisconsin. I'm still working on that one because I've never gone up there. So I have so many things that are still big, whopping unknowns that I would have to sit down and just like really figure out what all I want to do there. Redheaded, rather drive in California any day of the week than Georgia. Yes, thank you. Would like info on the meetup. Okay, give me just 1 second and we will talk about that some more. Let's see. Let me catch up on some of these others. California is super expensive. I mean, that's the biggest thing that's the drawback is that particular aspect. And they know it too. They know they're pricing themselves out. So eventually it'll burst. It has to. Or people won't be able to afford to live. Let's see, North Carolina, go to Alaska. I want to go to Alaska. I'm still trying to figure out the details on that one. I still haven't received my passport, so can't go until I do that. And then also there's a few other things that are kind of holding me back on that at this moment, just because the world is still a little weird. It's getting way better though. So now the biggest thing is the world is a little weird, and there's some bad talk from only about this far away from Alaska in a different country that's currently in conflict. So I don't know that necessarily the trip I want would be the trip that I would get as of yet. So I'm still trying to figure that out. Okay, so the meetup, let's talk about that a little bit more, and then I'm going to probably cut this off in about 15 minutes. That way we have a nice solid hour going here. So the meetup that I will be attending, again, is in Bisbee, Arizona. It is called the Weird Wild West, and it's going to be super, super fun. Now, there is a website, and after this chat has posted and everything like that, you'll be able to come back and I'll link everything, or I'll put up a post on my community tab with the link if you're interested. But to reserve a campsite, it's $25, and that's the only expense that there is when it comes to the actual event. They have some really amazing sponsors, one of which is Mountain House. And you guys know that I am now an ambassador for Mountain House, so I wanted to share that kind of aspect too. But they also have Seeker, the app. They have Oh my goodness, the list is long, and I'm just drawing a blank. The Overland Expo was actually one of the sponsors on this, and that is a huge event. They have some also smaller events, or not smaller events, smaller sponsors as well. But all in all, huge event, and super excited. Now, Bisbee is a very welcoming to the nomads kind of place. And so typically you can go there and find boondocking sites pretty easily anyway, but they do actually have established camping areas which are in business parking lots. That's right, the businesses are supporting the event enough to let the parking lots of their establishments be used as interior campsites, so you don't have to be far away from the event. That also puts you close to all of the festivities and walking distance from some super cool things. So, for example, they're doing like live music, they're doing like a little workout yoga thing, they're doing a hike, Mountain House is sponsoring a breakfast. They're doing a lot of interactive things for community building, and also they're doing all of this, I think, and I'm still looking into this a bit more, during a weekend in Bisbee where they're actually doing another event, which is called Alice in Bisbee Land. And that means that the shop owners all dress up like Alice in Wonderland characters, and they have Alice in Wonderland themed kind of events going on throughout town. So between the van event and this event, if this one is in fact going on, which I have read into and it looks like it is, it's going to be so fun. It's going to be very interesting. This is not going to be the event to go to if you are wanting instruction or if you are looking for like an RTR kind of experience. This is a very different kind of event, but it'll be a very good event. And again, very community-based, community-driven event. So that'll be super, super fun. And this is the first year that they're doing it. So it'll be really, really nice. Despite the fact that this is the first year doing it, this is one of the more well-organized events that I have seen. And so that's what really drew me into being excited about going, because it looked super well organized. Like, super well organized, and then also tons of involvement from the community because they are so excited about people coming in and seeing their things. Now, also, if you are wanting to go, they have other things around town. For example, they have a mine that you can go and tour. They also have a historic museum. They have the historic downtown. They have several local establishments that provide live music, several restaurants, things like that. So there's lots of different things that are directly in town. On the way to this event, you can turn off and go to Tombstone, which is one of the most well-known Western places ever. And there's a few other places also close to that that have great boondocking and then also hiking. So that's kind of what is something that kind of drew me in a little bit. So that's why I wanted to go. So again, I'll be leaving the link for that kind of in the description of this after this post, but also on my community tab, just in case you're interested. That way you can make reservations to go. And of course, I'll be there, and so will Riley. So if you do end up going, let me know, and we'll try to say hi somewhere along the line. But yeah, that's kind of one of those things. Also, it's going to be held the 22nd through 24th of April. And so you have about a little bit less than a month to prepare and get there. But they do have amenities, stores, things like that. So it's not going to be just like out in the middle of nowhere like Schoolypalooza was. It won't be in a place that you can't get out of like Gutted was. But you'll have access to a lot of easy, fun things. And also, because of the way that they have it all set up in kind of these lots, you'll have easy access to like explore the town, and I love that. I think that makes it a very unique event in itself. I agree, Terry, but Bisbee is like a really cool town. Let's see. Jenny, why would you be shy? Never be shy. I'm a regular person. I promise I'm a regular person. No need to be shy. Jean, we need to talk in going tent camping this summer and looking for nice campgrounds in Wisconsin. You know, tent camping is super fun. I did that for the first 3 years of my channel. I tent camped everywhere I went. It did, because I travel so much though, it did become old, only because I was traveling 75% out of the year and living in a tent 75% out of the year. That was hard. There's days that don't have great weather. There's days that do have great weather, but kind of it's a hit or miss thing while in a tent. And at some point, and I know this sounds super silly, but looking at the span of my channel the way that I kind of do sometimes, I look at it from the time that I was tent camping. I would go on a trip and then I would come back to base camp to work and save more money to go on another trip. And I remember that by the end of a trip, I was like, oh my gosh, I just want to sleep in my bed. I'm tired of sleeping on the ground. And now that I'm in my van, I almost prefer my van bed to my bed at base camp. So I'm going to be ordering a mattress that's like the one that's in my van for base camp. Totally different scenario from where I was when I was tent camping, that's for sure. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Judy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It looks like a workout pair. Hey, wait a second. That's shaped like me. That's awesome. I made a little funny the other day about the fact that I'm a thick chick on my aliens and dinosaurs video, and a lot of people got a good kick out of that. But seriously, I would make a tasty morsel. Actually, I'd make a whole meal for a T-Rex. Oh, so I love that it's pear because I'm a pear-shaped person. Thank you. Oh my goodness, you guys crack me up sometimes. Have a great day. Thank you, Terry. Yes, packing up a soggy tent is the worst feeling on earth because, first of all, it's not going to pack down as small as it did when you first got it. It just doesn't happen that way. And secondly, whenever you're packing up a soggy tent, like I got to a point where I wouldn't even try. I would just like fold it over, roll it into itself, and stick it in a trash bag. And then when I get to my next campsite, I would pull it out and let it dry out before I'd try to put it up. It was just pointless. And there were like 4 or 5 days where it just was solid rain, and I just felt like I just can't do this. I ended up actually putting a short mattress in my back seat of my car because I was like, on days like that, I'm not doing that anymore. Like I refuse to do that. And sure enough, that's what finally kind of pushed me into the direction of the van. Let's see. Wish you could get a tiny house for camping. You know, they do have them. B&B, where are you off to? Yes, life in third places. That is the legit issue with that kind of camping. I remember whenever I first had my first tent, I had a 6-man tent because I was an overachiever, and I had one friend coming with me, and I thought I might have two. So I was like, ooh, 6-man tent, because that makes sense. But I remember on one of the last nights of our trip, the wind got up so much, it was like buckling the tent down over us. That was fun. And then the whole soggy tent thing came along, and I was like, that's fun. And the more I looked at it, the more I was just like, I really love tent camping, but I really don't like the weather. That's the problem. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. Thank you. It says, love your content. We'll be launching my own adventures in the next 60 days. Yes, where are you off to first? That's my main question for you. I know you have a plan if you're 60 days out. You got some bucket lists. Let's see. Pamela, thank you so much. I mean, that's always been the goal, is to share the really cool, fun places that are out there. I hope that people see them and think, oh, I didn't know that was there. I want to go see it now. Or if they can't get out, I hope that I give them enough information that they feel like they are enriched by it. B&B, yes, Arkansas. I'm going to be going up that way sometime in the near future. Let's see. Camping the rain sucks. Absolutely. I mean, just soggy, bleh. And then sometimes your rain comes through the tent. Even though you have waterproofed the tent, it sometimes still comes through. That's also a super fun one. Let's see. Carry a large trash bag to put the wet tent in. Yep. I mean, that is when people talk about, oh, I love tent camping, and they show those beautiful pictures of tent camping, they don't show the soggy tent. They don't. And it's kind of like, I've always looked at my van adventures. I show the ugly parts and the weird parts and the parts that make people think, ew, I don't want to do that. Why would you do that? But at the same time, that's the reality. To get the beauty stuff, you got to go through the ugly stuff. In tent camping, that just means a soggy tent, though. You have a friend's parents who live near Bisbee. Cool. Very cool. Bring a building to put your wet tent in so you won't get wet. Let's see. Visiting friends in Ohio. Oh, sweet. Then all the amusement parks in the East Coast. Okay, so if you're going to do that, I'm going to need you to, after you do that, are you going to document it on a channel? If you are, I would watch that because I would be very interested to know about all the amusement parks. I currently watch Jacob the Carpetbagger, and he does a lot of those, but it's always interesting to see a different perspective. In fact, whenever I look into doing things, if I'm looking up YouTube stuff, I look at like 2, 3, 4 people's videos to kind of get an overall perspective. That way I'm not just like biased based on one person's opinion of it. I know that sounds really silly, but a lot of times whenever I'm researching for something, if somebody shows something and, like, for example, it's a place that's underrepresented, I'll try to watch at least enough to see kind of what the main parts are so that I can know, oh, and then when I get there, if I see things that I didn't see in anyone's video, I'm just like, this deserves a moment. I need to show this because nobody else mentioned it because they didn't think it was important, but it probably is. So I always try to add those underdog moments. I'm an underdog fan. Let me say that. Goodness, thank you so much, Ohio girl. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see. People who love tent camping haven't camped in the rain. You know what, though? I have friends who love tent camping, and they've been through rain, in like middle of snow for no reason kind of stuff. And, it's a different kind of style of person. Let's see. Hang on. I'm behind a little bit. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, Rebecca, that is awesome that you've added to your bucket list since watching some of the videos. That is so awesome. Yes. Let's see. Stacy, I used a camping cot with a folded mattress topper, super fluffy sleeping bag in the tent. Sleeping on the ground is crazy on my back. I understand. I had a bad back whenever I started out, and I had been sleeping on the wrong kind of mattress, and so sleeping on the ground actually was helpful for my back, but after a while, not so much for the rest of my achy joints. Oh no. If it does rain, I'll be ready to go home 1,000%. Yes. Oh my goodness, Washington Pro Carpet Cleaning, NV200 owner here. Yes! Welcome to my NV200. I think that MVs are one of those things. A lot of people ask me why I selected my van, and I talked about it on the channel and stuff like that, but there are just so many people who now I'm seeing are starting to get excited about NVs, and that makes me so happy because they're great little vans, not only for like work stuff, but for camping. I mean, they're the perfect length for throwing a good cot in here and just weekend warrioring, or like with what I'm doing, I feel comfortable in my space despite it being so small. So I think that that's the great thing about an NV. Okay, let's see. Everything just glitched again. You will be showing your tent camping on your channel. Sweet. I wish I would have covered more of my tent camping aspect whenever I was doing that, because I think people would have identified with it a little bit more, and they could have also seen, the ugly, weird stuff that I would be like, ugh. But I never really did that as much. I mostly reviewed the campgrounds that I would stay at, and I feel like that was a miss on my part, because I feel like at that point I didn't know that people would want to see that, and so I just didn't show it. And now I wish I would have, so I'd have a catalog of all of those kind of weird moments that happen around camp, that happen whenever I'm like filming my van stuff, because I catch a lot more things because I'm filming a lot more with the van. And so I have this like ongoing story of who I was. I just inhaled bad air. Who I was when I started this van journey versus where I am now. And it's just so cool to go back, at least for me, to geek out and watch to see my growth. So I wish I would have done that with a tint also. So thank you for doing it. Let's see. Everything skipped ahead. Okay, there we go. Terry says she's camped more in rain than she's camped in good weather. I feel like in recent months I've camped in more wind than I've ever camped in my entire life. Crystal River, Florida. I have never heard of that, but I need to look into that apparently. I'll ask my friend Anika if she's anywhere near it. Channel is Spoonie Adventures, coming soon. No content yet. So anyone in the chat right now, remember Spoonie Adventures and go follow her. We want to keep up with the adventures. Let's see. I love tent camping. I've done so in the rain and snow. How do I get over the fear of trying new things? Okay, so that is just one of those things that you have to tell yourself. It makes you better. It makes you stronger. It makes you grow. And then you just kind of have to do it. I make it a point to try to do something that slightly scares me every trip that I go out on. Something different, something that's unexpected, something that I haven't done before. And it doesn't necessarily have to be anything like crazy. Sometimes kind of food that I've never tried before and be like, oh, wow, there was one time that I decided I wanted to I noticed the physical discomfort that just came over my body even thinking about this. I wanted to hike the Manitou incline. What was I thinking? I did it though. I did it. For anyone who's not familiar with that, I have a video in my playlist, my Colorado playlist of me hiking the Manitou incline. And just to kind of paraphrase it, if you don't want to go and watch it, this is what I looked like. Up the stairs I go. Boom, boom, boom. Then up the stairs I go. 1 mile up the stairs we go. I mean, it's just a constant incline of stairs. But I felt like I wanted to do that. So I put it in my head that I was going to do it. And I did it. And it was something that previously I didn't think I could do. So it's the same thing, doing things that scare you, doing things you're unfamiliar with, doing things that challenge you. Each step that you take makes a better version of yourself because you experienced it. Now, once you're up there, it's a struggle sometimes because you have to keep going through it to get to it. And I just kind of, in my head, say those kind of mantras. I have to go through it to get to it. One more step. Or if I'm doing something that's just like, I'm eating something different. You know, I'm expanding my horizons. So just kind of find things that are gradual steps into doing things that scare you. And don't necessarily just fly off the handle and go, oh my gosh, today I'm going to go bungee jumping and I've always been afraid of this. Although that's a cool thought, if you think you're going to be petrified, maybe ease into that with baby steps first. Let's see. I'm trying to get to it. Oh my goodness, the wind is kicking up here. This is part of the craziness that they said was coming in. Somebody else said they have a cot. Somebody camped every summer in the Bay Area. Nice. Let's see. Florida is always going to rain, then be humid. Yes. True statement. Very true statement. The last time I was in Miami, every day you knew it was going to rain for at least 10 minutes. And there's nothing you could do about it. And then it'd be sweltering. Let's see. Never camped in bad weather until you moved to the East Coast. I mean, I've seen rain in California. However, I have not seen as much rain in California as I have other places. They found a Mayan temple at Crystal River. What? Like a real one? How have I not heard of this? Life in Third Places said that they live in Denver and haven't done the incline yet. It was, again, physical torment comes over my body thinking about it. But I was so proud of myself after I did that. In fact, I have probably never been so proud of myself as I was that particular moment. I got up to the top and I thought I was going to have this whole rocky stairs moment. I had no energy to do that. So instead I just like asked some lady to take a picture and I tried to make it cute. That was it. Let's see. You have to do it afraid. There will be no such thing as courage if you were never afraid. I mean, I kind of agree with that. Sometimes the things that really do challenge us, sometimes they're just kind of scary. I mean, I've gone down, this is a very primitive example, but I've gone down a road before that's even made me kind of afraid. Like, oh no, like if you clench up a little bit, that means you're afraid. And if you push through, then you have conquered. And if you give up along the way too, sometimes that's okay, because sometimes that's your brain telling you, we do not need to do this. And you shouldn't count it as a failure. because like I have been on roads where I didn't feel comfortable going down the road in my van, and I knew that my van's capabilities were like, no, we're not doing this. That does not make me afraid because I made a smart decision and turned around. That means that I had grown enough to know that when it started getting to the hairy part and it was kind of making me afraid, that the choice that I needed to make was me being smart and responsible. So there's also that side of it. Life is an adventure. I absolutely agree. Every day we wake up, we are given the opportunity to do something amazing. And even if that just means smiling at somebody and making their day, guess what? That is something. Let's see. Stairs are nemesis for us all. Yes, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Faith over fear. I'm getting ready to load up. Dad calling. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to wrap this up. I said I was going to keep it at an hour. So let's go ahead and go through these last few comments real quick. We do not need to do this. Absolutely. And my dad is calling me again, so I am going to go ahead and get off of here. We made it an hour. I'm going to run into Walmart. I have had a blast chatting, and next week, I think, maybe this weekend, I'll have another project video, but until then, I have some super cool adventures from Texas because I've been having fun while I've been at base camp also.